I'm not able to share my screen.
There is no option here in mobile version. Share screen. Okay.
Yeah. So
Done.
done. 1 minute. Now it's done. Okay, so is my screen visible now?
Yes, visible.
Okay. I think the recording has 1 minute. Can you see if
Recording is started.
Started now? Okay. So I'll
Yes.
start now with the presentation. Hello, should I start with the presentation?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. So
Yes.
good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Aditi Bhatnagar here. I will be talking about Cenchrus. So yesterday I spoke about Cenchrus as a snake, and then we looked through the mind section of Cenchrus. Today we are going to study about the dreams, the particulars, and a case. So before I start with today's session, can anyone from the participants, can any of you unmute yourself or type in the chat box, what did you understand about Cenchrus' mind? Just 1 or 2 points would be enough. So anyone can just tell me voluntarily, or they can type in the chat box and Arun sir will tell me. Anyone from the participants?
Dr. Chetna, you want to say something?
Anyone can just tell me 1 or 2 points, whatever you have understood from yesterday.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Dr. Swaraja here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
From the mind. Hi. Hello. From the mind session, I could understand one major point. Basically, he is very shy in the nature, but he can get aggravated or he can get violent if he gets hurt or he gets emotionally disturbed. Right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So she's right. Dr. Swaraja is right. They are basically shy by nature. They are quiet and lethargic by nature. But if they are disturbed or if there is a threat, then if they are interrupted, then they become violent and aggressive, and they can also become abusive. Okay, apart from that, the other things which are common with other snakes is suspiciousness, jealousy, enviousness, and other points that we saw which were characteristic to Cenchrus were absent-mindedness, a presentiment of death, that she thinks that she is going to die, and the horrible dreams, that horrible and vivid dreams. Okay, so this was mainly the mental symptoms which were characteristic to Cenchrus. So today we will start with the dreams. We will see what kind of dreams Cenchrus patient has. If anywhere I'm going fast, please let me know. And whoever have unmuted their mics, please kindly mute the mics. Okay, so just a brief revision. Absent-mindedness, dreamy, loss of memory, Anxiety, she will die suddenly. Horrible, sickening anxiety. Selfish, jealous, suspicious. Sanskrit is 3 marks in the rubric suspicious. It comes very close to Lachesis in this aspect. Like Dr. Arun sir rightly said yesterday, it is a chilly Lachesis. She feels there's a conspiracy and she will be put in the asylum. And the theme of chastity that we had seen yesterday, which I explained to you. The typical sadness, hopelessness, and despair that comes later on, frequent crying and sighing. And the dullness and aversion to do domestic duty, postponing, and alteration of moods. So now let us go to dreams. So the dreams of Sankaras are extremely characteristic, and you can basically correlate these dreams to the theme of chastity that I spoke about yesterday, where she feels a need to safeguard and protect her purity, her chastity, by avoiding any kind of sexual intercourse. So there is a constant fear of a threat, constant fear of an unlawful sexual intercourse. This may lead to dreams, horrible dreams, like that of dreams of rape. So there are horrible, frightful, vivid, and lascivious dreams. Dreams of rape. Sanskrit's 2 marks in dreams of rape. In the book, The Spirit of Homeopathic Medicine by Dr. Didier Grandgeorge, he has also mentioned that Sanskrit can have dreams of witnessing a rape also. Okay, so always remember this. It is very important that Sanskrit has dreams of rape or dreams of threat of rape. The other dreams that are seen, which are again related to this aspect of chastity and this constant fear of threat and attack in her, is dreams pursued, being man by, to violate her, that a man will violate her purity. Dreams rape threats of, dreams naked people. Like I told you, there are a lot of lascivious dreams here, sexual dreams here. Dreams of indecent behavior of man and woman, and a lot of perverted dreams as well. Dreams of animals, dreams snakes biting him. So there are dreams that a snake is biting him. Dreams bitten, being animals by. Dreams animals having sex. So this is a very marked dream that has come up in Sanskrit, and there is only one remedy that is Sanskrit in these dreams, that is dreams animals copulating, that is dreams animals are having sex, and Sanskrit is the only remedy here. So it is important to remember this. Then very horrible and sick dreams are seen in Sanskrit, that is dreams dissecting dead bodies, dreams dead children of infants, dreams dissecting people. Here also Sanskrit is single remedy. So horrible dreams, disgusting dreams of dead bodies, of dead infants, and dissecting people. This is basically a summary that I have made up of mind of Sanskrit. So as I told you, suspiciousness, jealousy, enviousness, and revengefulness. These are the common traits of Sanskrit, which are found in other snakes as well. The traits it shares with other snakes. And these are the other characteristic symptoms which are present in Sanskrit. So presentiment of death, of sudden death. She feels she will die suddenly. Fear of going to sleep. Fear will suffocate during sleep. Dreams amorous, lascivious, vivid, and horrible. Can't be shaken off during waking hours. The dreams are so horrible that the patient constantly has thoughts of those dreams even when he wakes up in the morning, and he cannot get rid of those thoughts. Dreams of rape or dreams of seeing rape. Dreams being pursued for the purpose of rape. So now we'll go on to the generals. Before we start with the generals, does anyone have any difficulty in understanding mind or dreams, or anyone has any question? Then please let me know. You can type in the chat box. You can unmute yourself. Arun sir, if there is any question, please let me know. Otherwise, I will go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to ask you if the patients have such type of dreams. That means we can say subconscious mind, maybe his sexual desire is very high, right?
Yeah, that's true. Because Senkris also has a very high sexual desire. That is true. Yes.
Yes.
That can be one of the interpretations also. These dreams can have different interpretations. And this definitely is one interpretation, that a high sexual desire. So she constantly thinks about it. And this may also lead to such lascivious dreams. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And another thing that I told you was that in case of a widow, especially in case of a widow where she's a young widow and there is a threat from the relatives who might molest her or rape her, in such females also they may get such dreams of rape or threat of rape. And the lascivious dreams can be found in people having increased sexual desire or maybe a suppressed sexual desire. Okay, Dr. Swaraja, was I clear? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Ma'am,
So, hello.
one question, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, how can we differentiate the dreams of dissecting and dreams of mutilating?
Mutilating, acha. Mutilating.
Yes.
See, there is not much of a difference between the two things. Mutilating is causing a lot of harm to the body. Okay, a lot of harm by cutting it very violently, and there is a lot of what you can say, anger in the person. That is why he mutilates basically to cause harm in a bad way by cutting in a very violent and horrible way. That is mutilating. So okay, it comes very similar actually, but dissecting can be a little finer aspect, whereas mutilating is more, you can say, coarse, more crude way. Dissecting can be a finer way, but yeah, both come very similar. But
Okay, ma'am.
what I will do is I will again study about these both things, and I will let you know. I'll post in the group if there's anything else that I can add to this explanation.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I will proceed further now. Dr. Arun, should I proceed further?
Yes, continue.
Okay. So we will have a look at the genitals. Okay, so the site affection is right side. This is very important. Thermals are chilly, like Dr. Arun sir said, chilly lachesis. Seasonal aggravation is spring aggravates, again found in many other snake remedies and also lachesis. Allergies are aggravated in spring season. Okay, so right-sided chilly and spring aggravation. There's a desire for bacon and a desire for salt. Bacon is a kind of meat. Aversion to breakfast. So later on you will see in stomach that there is a lot of disgust for breakfast. They don't feel like eating breakfast. Even the best of breakfast that is given to them, they don't feel like eating it. We will see that in particulars. Then there is thirst for small quantities of cold water. So anyone can tell me which other drug for this small quantities of cold water? Everyone knows, I'm sure, but anyone can just type it.
Arsenic.
Yeah, right. So arsenic also has the same symptom. Intolerant of tight clothing, which is again seen in any other snake remedies as well. And pulsating sensations, synchronous with heartbeat. So they are very conscious of their heart, and they are very conscious of their heart, and there is this anxiety which is seated at the heart. उनको हमेशा जो anxiety है वो अपने heart में feel होता है. Heart में बहुत weakness और एक consciousness feel होता है, and there's palpitations and pulsating sensations which are synchronous to heartbeat. Modalities में aggravation, lying down at night, again like other snake remedies, especially lachesis. Waking on, like we know, snakes sleep into aggravation and they wake up into aggravation. So just like lachesis, this is present here also. Pressure and tight clothing and evening. Amelioration is by walking about. They are so restless mentally and physically, and they feel so much better by walking about. Particulars, mainly you have to focus upon the respiratory system, the cardiovascular system, female genitourinary system, gastrointestinal system, and there are also some symptoms of eye and headache. So first, let us have a look at respiratory system. So there is a recurrent tendency to develop paranasal sinusitis and allergic rhinitis. Throat affections, it's a very useful remedy for throat affections. Dr. J.H. Clark has mentioned about it. And we know it very well that snake remedies are very good for throat affections. So throat affections like pharyngitis, tonsillitis, the tonsils become extremely red and inflamed. You can see in the picture that I've put here, the redness and inflammation of tonsils. Another thing it is useful for is bronchial asthma. It's a very useful remedy, and here you can compare it with arsenicum album because certain symptoms are quite similar. So let us have a look at the different locations in respiratory system. So first of all, throat. There's a pricking, sticking sensation in the throat. There is redness, soreness, and swelling. So a typical inflammation with redness, soreness, swelling, and a typical pricking and sticking kind of a sensation. The symptoms are aggravated by empty swallowing and better by warm drinks. Empty swallowing is basically when you swallow your saliva. They can swallow solids and liquids well, but they cannot swallow their saliva. Empty swallowing is difficult for them. Then the throat affections are more commonly seen on the right side. The throat is full of mucus, which is very thick, stringy, tough, yellow, and blood tinged. Can anyone tell me just other remedy for this kind of sticky mucus and postnasal discharge, which is yellow, stringy, and thick and tough? Anyone can unmute and tell me.
Calibicromicum?
Yeah, right, very right. Stringy, thick, and yellow mucus. Okay, then besides that, thank you, Dr. Swaraja. Besides that, there is a choking sensation, which we know is very common, like lachesis and other snakes, which is aggravated by pressure. Okay, so now about asthma, bronchial asthma. There is a suffocation sensation, dyspnea, gasping for breath. Okay, as if they're not getting enough oxygen, they're not getting enough air, so they gasp for breath. If you have seen, for example, if you tie a plastic wrapper on a person's, you cover the whole mouth and head of a person with a wrapper, then after a certain point, he will start gasping for breath. So that is basically gasping. Then there is choking. Okay, so these symptoms, they are aggravated when lying down, especially at night, aggravated during sleep, and better by lying with head drawn back. This is a very important modality. They feel better when they're lying with the head drawn back like this. They feel better like this. So along with this, the concomitant that you see here is anxiety as if she would die. As we had studied in mind also, there's a constant fear and anxiety that she would die. And this anxiety is felt in the region of chest. It is also a very good remedy for cough, asthmatic cough, or even allergic coughs. So the character of cough here is very, very dry cough, a hacking cough, a tickling cough, basically where there's some irritation, some itching in the throat, and that leads to cough. So a tickling kind of cough. A concussive cough means a spasmodic, a paroxysmal cough, a forceful kind of a cough. 3 p.m. is a very important modality. The cough generally comes on at 3 p.m. or at night after retiring to bed, aggravated by walking fast and aggravated walking upstairs. with the cough, there is a feeling of hopelessness. There is a feeling of helplessness. Basically, you can say a despair of recovery. She feels that she will not get better. Another important concomitant we see here with cough is frequent sighing. There is a frequent sighing. Yesterday, I had shown you a short video of sighing, a GIF of sighing. So there's a frequent sighing like that. Okay, so this cough is very, very forcible cough. And it seems that the cough is coming from the diaphragm. The cough is coming from the pit of the stomach. That is the sensation, and that is basically the force of cough. It comes from the diaphragm. Along with the cough, there is lacrimation from the eyes, and there is an involuntary urination. The expectoration is frothy and white in the morning. So basically, the cough is loose in the morning with a frothy expectoration, and rest of the part of the day and night, it is very, very dry, deep, and hacking cough. Now, the cardiovascular system, it's a useful remedy for angina pectoris and supraventricular tachycardia. This I've picked up from Dr. Farrukh Master's book. He has given therapeutic indications of Sencris in angina pectoris and supraventricular tachycardia. We will not go into details of supraventricular tachycardia, but basically it is a rhythm disorder where there's increased heart rate due to electrical disturbances. So let us see in angina pectoris how the patient will present. So the pain, as you know, typical of angina, sudden, sharp, stitching kind of pain. And this is followed by a dull pain, which gradually subsides. The complaints usually come on at night and lying down. This modality you can remember for almost all the particulars, night and lying down while going to bed. This is common to most of the particulars. There's a strong consciousness of heart, a constant realization of heart. As we had seen, most of the symptoms, the anxiety, fear, is all seated upon the heart. So a constant consciousness of heart. Supraventricular tachycardia. Basically, supraventricular tachycardia, you may not really get a lot of presenting symptoms. You may not be able to come to know if the patient is in supraventricular tachycardia. The symptoms can be really vague. Diagnosis is mainly done on ECG. So supraventricular tachycardia, what kind of symptoms may be there? Let us just have a look. So feels as if the heart were distended or swelled to fill the whole chest. We know that, we saw that there's a consciousness of heart. So he feels heart has become enlarged and it has filled up the whole chest. There is so much of fullness and heaviness in the region of heart. This happens especially in the evening and after lying down. Extreme realization of heart, fluttering sensation, and palpitations. Palpitations, along with the palpitations, there is a great anxiety that she is going to die. There is tachycardia, increased pulse rate, and a feeble pulse. Hello, can anyone tell me so far, am I going okay? Are you all understanding? Hello?
Yes, yes. It's comfortable.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So now let us have a look at the female genitalia. Yeah. So female genitourinary tract. There's leukorrhea, menorrhagia, ovarian pains. Please remember, it's a very important remedy for ovarian pains. And we will see what are the characteristics here in ovarian pain. There is herpes, okay, genital herpes, vulvovaginitis, PMS, and dysmenorrhea. So you can think of Sencris for all these kind of symptoms. So there's an increased sexual desire. Like Dr. Swaraja rightly said, there is an increased sexual desire. So also the patient may be getting dreams of rape. And this increased sexual desire can be found in both the sexes, male as well as female. Okay, so there is leukorrhea, which is yellow. Then there are herpetic eruptions on the labia majora. There's this typical throbbing of the vulva, especially in the morning. When she wakes up in the morning from her sleep, there is this throbbing sensation of vulva, and she feels better by walking about. The when you look at the ovarian pain, especially the right ovary is affected here. You will see very, very severe pains, shooting pains in the right ovary, and they are increased during the menses. In lachesis, you will find more of the left ovary. In Sancris, you'll find more of the right ovary. Then menorrhagia, the menses are profuse, bright red with dark clots. This, in dysmenorrhea, there is a cramping, severe cramping and labor-like pain, which is aggravated during the menses. Along with the menses, we will see some other symptoms that happen here in the musculoskeletal system. You will see in sacrum and coccyx and the gluteal muscles, there is a soreness and aching during the menses, especially at night. And when she's sitting up, there is so much of aching that she wants to lie down. And she's totally, you can say, debilitated with this kind of soreness and aching. And she's easily moved to tears. She becomes so sensitive by this pain, this ache, the dysmenorrhea, that she is easily moved to tears. She becomes very weepy and very sensitive and very emotional. Gastrointestinal symptom, this especially Dr. Farooq Master has mentioned that it can be a useful remedy for irritable bowel syndrome, diarrhea, and acid peptic disorders. So in acid peptic disorders or in GERD, what you can see is there's nausea, extreme nausea. We had seen this also in yesterday when we spoke about the envenomation, the toxicological part of Sancris. We had seen that there's extreme nausea in the venomation. So extreme nausea is found here as well in the physical particulars. And this nausea is better by ice. Even if she has water, she becomes nauseous and sick. She has to have ice to feel better. In abdomen, there is a typical sensation that you find in lachesis and other snakes, a sensation of band around the waist. And even the smallest amount of food aggravates this kind of sensation. There is bloating and spluttering flatus, again aggravated by smallest amount of food. So irritable bowel syndrome, you can see there's a severe pain, okay, in the colonic region, and there is rumbling. There's a lot of rumbling before the stool. And very important to remember here is the tenesmus. Okay, tenesmus, basically an ineffectual desire to pass stool. She will feel that she wants to go, but when she goes on the closet, she is not able to pass stool. That is the tenesmus. And again, she feels that constantly. The tenesmus is very important. You know, and other important drug for tenesmus is Nux vomica and Merck core also. But the symptoms here are not similar to Merck core. There's a lot of bloody diarrhea in Merck core. You will not find so much here. So diarrhea with tenesmus, very, very important. The stool is like that of bran porridge. Gushing stool, you know, it is there in many other remedies like Protontic and various other remedies also. Frequent stool, watery with a dark sediment. At night, the stool is copious and gray colored. And there is involuntary stool while passing the flatus. So he loses control and passes stool while passing the flatus. In eyes, you will find a bag-like swelling, usually above the eyes, but it can also be seen below the eyes. So all around the eyes, you can find this bag-like swelling. Compare it with Kali cup and Apis, which have similar bag-like swelling. Vision, there is emerosis. Emerosis is basically a dimness of vision, which is basically due to weakness. So there is insensibility of cornea, which leads to a dim vision. So far we studied about the particulars. I hope you all have understood the particulars. If anyone has any question. Hello.
Continue.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry for this. Yeah. So comparison we will study with lachesis and R-Salb. So right-sided and chili lachesis. Some people call it right-sided chili lachesis, or some people call it lachesis plus R-Salb because the symptoms are very similar to lachesis and R-Salb. So what are the similarities? We had already seen in particulars also. There is dyspnea, an asthmatic condition. There is a mental and physical restlessness. There is thirst for small quantities of cold water and severe anxiety and fear of death. So these are the symptoms similar with R-Salb. What are the differences? Let us see. So in Sencris, the restlessness, in both there is restlessness on physical and mental level. In Sencris, they feel better by moving about and walking. But as you know, R-Salb patient is totally exhausted and totally weak and are not able to move about. So though they are restless, but they cannot move about and walk. Sencris craves for bacon and salt. Arsenic craves for sour and brandy. The diarrhea in Sencris is without prostration. Yeah, it is important to remember this. In diarrhea, there is not much prostration in Sencris, though there's a profuse diarrhea, but in R-Salb, there is a lot of prostration. There is a deathly prostration as we have seen in many of the Materia Medica books. There's a deathly prostration here. Now with lachesis, if we see suspiciousness, jealousy, people are conspiring against him, revengeful, all these are the similarities with lachesis. Aggravation by tight clothing and pressure, throat affections and ovarian affections. And many more similarities are there, but I haven't put everything down here. What are the differences? Let us see. So in terms of the theme of sexuality, you will see in Sencris, it is more to do with an increased sexual desire and sexual organs affection, whereas in lachesis, it is more to do with the sexual abuse. The sexual abuse that they have undergone, it's more to do with that. Whereas in Sencris, it's more about the sexual desire, increased sexual desire, a threat, and sexual organs. Sencris, there are right-sided affections, as we had seen, right ovary. In lachesis, left-sided affections, left ovary. Thermals are chilly and lachesis hot. So Sencris is chilly lachesis. Throat pain aggravated by empty swallowing and better by warm drinks. Whereas in lachesis, throat pains are aggravated by liquids and better by cold drinks. So they can eat solids, they can swallow solids, but they cannot swallow liquids and they're better by cold drinks. Whereas Sencris, empty swallowing and warm drinks. So these are the references that I've taken for this presentation. Kent's Materia Medica, Borick's Materia Medica, J.H. Clark, and Dr. Farooq Master, and Wikipedia. And some of the data which was available online, I have added as well. So this was about the presentation, the whole presentation. Next, we will start with the case. So
Before that,
yeah.
hello.
Yeah, sir.
Just add one point about your experience transferring data from text form to this pattern of LSMC.
Sorry,
how
I did
you
not
have
get
done that?
how I have done that.
And the what your experience about the process of transferring the data and whether it is useful or not.
Okay. It is. What I can say is it is definitely useful, and basically it's basically that from the learnings that I have got from my masters and also from you, Dr. Arun, I have seen that it is very, very important to study in the form of location, to study the complaints in the form of location, sensation, modality, and concomitant, because you can have an idea about the anatomy, which part is involved, which organ is involved, because as you know, certain remedies can have certain seat of action on particular organs. So it helps a lot in that, You can also understand the sphere of action of the drug by knowing about which location it acts on. Then, of course, the sensations, which are very, very characteristic. And as you know, when we analyze a particular a particular complaint, we always look at, we first look at the concomitants, which are very important, the topmost priority. Then comes the modalities, the sensations, and location. So that is how we study. And so this also gives an idea about analyzing a complaint in the form of the concomitant, modality, sensation, and location. So splitting up the complaint and then understanding which are the most important and characteristic part in the complaint. So it gives a lot of idea about that. And so basically I wanted all the students, especially the students and interns, to understand the importance of this aspect of location, sensation, modalities, and concomitant. That is why I took up this exercise of transferring the data in this form.
Just go back to any one slide.
Yes.
Okay,
And Dr. Arun, if you can also throw some light upon this for the students, it will be really helpful. So I will go to, okay, let's go to this.
Okay. So I want to ask to the student, especially UG student and intern from this group. In previous session, we have seen the slides with the text form as it written into book form. They had just like a copy and paste, and this is the different aspect: location, sensation, modality, concomitant. We have to transfer that text form into 4 compartments. So I want to ask to all students, which is good to study or to analyze. The text form is better to study, or this tabular form is better? Just anyone can unmute themselves.
And please tell honestly, which you really find better, this or the other form.
Okay. Dr. Surekha, Rutuja. Okay.
If you don't want to answer, you can type it.
Dr. Poonam Pardesi, Swati.
Yes, sir.
कुठली पद्धत चांगली वाटते? टेक्स्ट फॉर्म पुस्तकाची की असे टेबल मध्ये? सोपं काय वाटतं?
टेबल सर, टेबल. हो.
ओके. आता तुमच्या पुढच्या प्रेझेंटेशन मध्ये चेंजेस झाले पाहिजे.
यस सर.
नॉलेज ऑफ एनाटॉमी पहिल्या टेबल साठी आवश्यक आहे. बाकीच्या गोष्टी तर सोप्या आहे. Okay, we will continue.
Yeah. So thank you, Arun sir, and thank you others for your contribution for this. So now we will go to the case. Okay, so this is a case. This is a case from New England Journal of Homeopathy. This case is by Dr. Frank Gruber, a lady who is 28 years old. So these are her chief complaints. She visited the doctor for this chief complaint. Basically, there were palpitations when lying down at night. And she was very afraid that she has some horrible disease. This was a constant fear that she has some horrible disease. Then, apart from the palpitations, there was a sharp pain felt in the region of heart and chest, like someone is sticking a knife into her chest, a stabbing, piercing kind of a pain. The pain is so much, it takes her breath away. So much is the intensity and severity. This pain, so F is basically the frequency. The pain, it happens daily and lasts for 5 minutes. And with this pain, she feels she will die. Okay, there is so much of pain. She feels that she will die now out of pain. This was her chief complaint. There were some other associated complaints. We will see what were those. So basically, dysmenorrhea, lot of cramps, which were debilitating to her. Debilitating meaning she felt very, very prostrated because of the cramps. She felt very weak. And the flow was, there were a lot of clots in the flow. Okay, a lot of clots were there, especially dark red clots. Then along with this, in the concomitant section, you'll see there was nausea. There was a nausea during her periods. Apart from this, she complained of a severe headache. This headache was felt in the whole of head as well as the back of neck. So there was a severe constricting kind of a pain. She feels as if in a vice grip. Basically, vice grip meaning a very, very tight chain, like a chain is tied to the head. That was the feeling. Okay, or she felt that the head will explode. The headache was aggravated by movement of head. Headache was also aggravated during her menses, and she felt better in a dark and quiet room. In musculoskeletal, so basically she had osteoarthritis of her knee. There was stiffness, but at the same time, there was also a sharp pain and swelling. And the pain used to increase while ascending the stairs. Then back, there was spasms in the muscles of the back, aching, a sensation of pressure and tightness. And there was this prickling kind of pain which used to extend to the legs. So basically a kind of a sciatic pain was there. So arthritis, spasms of the back, and sciatica. This is her past history. So she had this history of hives, basically urticaria. Basically there are big, big rashes, allergic rashes on the body. So when she was when she was 9 years, from her 9 years of age to 14 years, hives on the neck, back, and chest with intense itching. And there was so much of itching that she would scratch it, and it made her feel so ugly. She would feel very ugly because of this phenomena of hives, itching, and scratching. And they were extremely humiliating to her and made her less confident. She is chilly, thermally. The sleep is very poor due to constant thoughts in her mind. She says, my mind is racing. Did I do this right? Is my husband cheating on me? So this suspiciousness was there in her. Desires cheese and milk, but at the same time it aggravates her and causes a stomach upset and aversion to eggs. Now let us see what symptoms were found in the mind. So there was a lack of motivation. As you know, you would have studied mind symptoms. We basically split into emotion, intellect, and behavior. Okay, so always when you analyze the mind symptoms, always go by that format. In this case, I may not have done that because of lack of time, but always do that. Go by emotion, intellect, and behavior. That is the hierarchy basically when you analyze. So let us have a look at the mind. There is no motivation in her. She can't really seem to change her life, even though she wants to, because she can't get started. So basically, there is no drive in her. She wants to change herself, her life, her situation, but there is no drive to do that. There is a difficulty focusing, doesn't really know what she wants. difficulty on day-to-day basis in keeping focused and getting things done. So a lack of concentration, a lack of focus, and a lack of drive, a hopelessness, despair, and low drive. So she also suffered from depression, and she used to get these kind of episodes, these sad episodes, every couple of months. This used to happen from her teenage years. We actually don't really know the cause of it. The doctor hasn't mentioned about the cause, but she had these episodes of sadness with intense weeping, and rest of the month she used to be very, very hopeless, which we already saw, this despair and hopeless. So sad with weeping and hopeless. She feels that nothing will ever work out and that something terrible is going to happen in her life. So this constant fear that something bad is going to happen in her life. It makes her quite fearful for her day-to-day survival, with a lot of fears being based around money and lack of it. Basically, certain financial crunches that she experiences. And because of that, there is a fear that she will not be able to survive in her life. She will not be able to come out of this financial crunches. Every day she is very anxious about her health and about whether she will survive due to the crisis, the financial crisis, which constantly occur and drain her financially. She never seems to be able to get ahead, since something happens each time she gets ahead to wipe her out financially. So even if she wants to go ahead, she is not able to. She again and again gets caught up in that situation. Something or the other comes up which drains her financially. And again, she falls into that hopelessness and despair that she will not be able to get out and she will remain stuck here. She says, I'm a pessimist. You have to expect the worst. Something will come and take it away from me. I'm very vigilant, meaning very, very alert. I go to bed with my clothes on. कि कुछ हो तो नहीं जाएगा, कुछ हो गया, कुछ problem हो गया, तो immediately I'll have to rush. So she's very alert about that. I'm afraid something will happen to me. I'm sad. There is nothing to live for, nothing to look forward to. So there's so much of sadness in her, so much of hopelessness. You'll find in every slide, the sadness, the hopelessness, the pessimism, extremely low self-confidence. Even though she's quite attractive, she sees herself as unattractive, unable to compete with other women. So she's very critical of herself. She feels that she's not attractive, though the doctor says she was very attractive to look at. I feel like I let my family down. I just couldn't be the way they wanted me to be. And I need a lot of recognition. She needs a constant recognition because, you know, low self-confidence hai usko, self-critical hai. So she needs a lot of recognition that makes her feel better. I want people to like me, but I don't make the effort to initiate it. She is very critical of herself, of how she walks, how she talks, and how she looks. And she wants to look the best. She finds that she is bossy, like her mom, dominating. She is irritable and bitchy. Bitchy likes to gossip, backbite about others. She gets into arguments with her husband that can lead to physical battles with verbal aggression at times. So, itna zyada argument ho jata hai that she can be abusive verbally and may also hit at times. So, physical battles ho jata hai. She can be vindictive, which means revengeful. So, if anyone has done anything wrong to her, she can plan a revenge towards that person. And very, very spiteful, meaning she can do something as to cause hurt to others who have offended her or who have hurt her. She can also be extremely weepy over nothing. So causeless weeping that you will see here. If someone says something to me, I'll cry. I feel ready to explode. तो कुछ भी बोल दिया, she is so sensitive कि कुछ भी उसको बोल दिया, छोटा सा भी कुछ बोल दिया, she will start crying. She'll feel very, very bad, very, very sensitive by nature. And very touchy, you can say, very touchy by nature. They didn't get along well with her husband, who was very passive and let her do all the work and planning. She wouldn't leave him because she has an intense fear of being alone. तो उसको husband के साथ बहुत problem था. Husband would let her do everything and he would not do anything. Still, she was not able to leave him. She was stuck in this rut. She was stuck in this situation because of fear of loneliness. Usko chhod diya, to she will again be lonely. She will be forsaken. So she didn't want to leave him. I've been hurt a lot and just can't think about being alone and on my own. She eventually did leave. Finally, she had to leave him. After that, had a series of quick relationships and then got into a relationship with a man who was physically abusive to her. So she left her husband, but again, she got into another relationship which was equally damaging to her, a physically abusive partner. It is important for me to feel needed. I took care of my mom who died of cirrhosis. So she wants to feel needed by others. She took extremely good care of her mom. I'm afraid I'm so nitpicky, choti baaton pe fault nikalna, that my husband will leave me or I'll push him too far and he'll leave. So husband ke saath usko problem hai. She is nitpicky, she is critical. At the same time, doesn't want to leave him. She is stuck there, but she will also go to the extent of pushing him so far that he will leave him. So just imagine the kind of situation and the kind of personality she is. I like to look different, so I'm the center of attraction. She wants to be center of attraction. People say I'm too confident. This is what the people say of her, but internally, she feels there is a lack of confidence in her. So people say I'm too confident, I'm stuck up and snotty. I stand back with crossed arms and look around the room and watch people. I'm nosy. She interferes in others' work. I see who's looking at me. She constantly will see kaun dekh raha hai usko. Basically, I just don't trust people. So a lack of trust. Why this lack of trust was there, we'll see. My parents were alcoholic and I couldn't trust my dad, who would hit me badly when drunk. So again, an abusive childhood. Father would hit her when he was drunk. I'm extremely jealous, not of men looking at other women, but more of being left out. So there's again and again, you'll see this feeling of, that she doesn't want to be alone. There is a fear of alone. She wants to be included with other people. She's suspicious of people talking about me. She feels that people are talking about her. What they're saying about me. She'll feel, what are they saying, talking about me? So this suspiciousness will again, it'll come up again and again, you'll see. Now, that was basically the case. I hope you all have understood the case. So basically, this doctor had used a lot of remedies initially before he could come to the remedy which seemed to cure her, which seemed to give her the most relief. So we will see what were the other remedies that had come up. I'm sorry, I'm going a little fast because it's already 4 o'clock. Okay, so the remedies given were arsenic album, lachesis, ignatia, platina, hyoscyamus. And I'm sure all of you must be thinking that why lachesis was given here. She's chilly, but sometimes we do tend to make certain mistakes. So most relief was with lachesis. The emotional states were ameliorated by 50%, but the physical complaints got worse. So this is the problem with choosing a wrong remedy. Though the emotional symptoms were worse, but lachesis did not turn out to be the most similar remedy to her, and her physical complaints got worse. So that is why the case was reviewed again and again on the basis. So whenever we end up giving some partially similar remedies and the case is not improving the way we are expecting, we again and again review the case and we try to study the case through different angles. So this is what this doctor did. He tried to study it through different angles. So what happens after giving all these remedies? She began to develop a series of bronchitis-like symptoms with sneezing, fevers, cough, muscle aches all the time, felt completely fatigued and burned out. The joint pains got so severe that she was crying from pain. So this is what happened. Then he thought of changing the remedy, of prescribing a new remedy, by studying the case freshly and reviewing the case. So according to him, these were the important symptoms that were focused upon. Hopeless, fear something bad will happen, jealous and suspicious, fear of being alone, difficulty focusing, abusive, violent, constrictive pains. Okay. So these were the rubrics that he referred to. Mind suspicious. Some of the data I have put here on the basis of hierarchy of emotion, intellect and behavior. Suspicious, jealousy, basically a part of emotion. The lack of concentration, we will see more in the intellect part, and then we will see the behavior part. So I have tried to put in some symptoms on the basis of hierarchy. If there are any mistakes, Dr. Arun will probably be able to correct me. So despair of recovery, suspicious, jealous, despair of recovery, ailments from anticipation, mind, fear alone, mind, fear something will happen, forsaken feeling, delusions of being alone in the world, concentration difficult studying, abusive and censorious, basically the aspects of her behavior that she's very, very abusive. She gives bad words, or she even used to have physical battles with her husband. So these were basically the rubrics that were looked upon. The repertorization sheet was not there in the case, so I haven't put it up. Apart from that, head constriction, band or hello, I'm so sorry. It got disconnected. I'll just start again. Yeah. So back spasmodic drawing, cervical region, female genitalia, sex, menses, painful. The painful dysmenorrhea that we had seen in her, that she used to cry with dysmenorrhea. So much was the pain. So obviously, Sankris 200 was given to her after studying the fresh totality. Okay, let us have a look at the follow-up. Feeling of well-being, all the emotional problems went away. Headaches and menstrual cramps stopped. Arthritis was much better. Palpitations and muscle aches were gone. So this is the beauty of selecting the similimum. All the symptoms were better, not only just emotional or physical, but all her symptoms were better. Okay, particulars, emotionals, everything was better. Now we will study what are the comments given by this doctor, that what were the learnings from the case that this doctor got. So basically, this is what he says. The mental and emotional symptoms were responding to the remedies, but the physical symptoms were not responding. So he tried to pay more attention to the physicals and combining them with the mental, emotional symptoms that I had already had. When new symptoms arise or other symptoms become more prominent in a case, it is the vital force trying to get you to pay attention to the new symptoms and add them to the symptoms you already have to come to a new remedy. This is very, very important. So when the new symptoms arise or certain symptoms become prominent, do not forget to pay attention to them. Always pay attention to them, and then you form a new totality which also includes these symptoms. So this is what this doctor did. He reviewed the case again. So what he saw here was that lachesis or snake remedy seemed to give the most improvement on emotional sphere, but not on the physical particular sphere. I thought since the theme is very close of that of snakes, maybe another snake remedy would be called for. And then by studying into the details of the case, Sankris was the most indicated remedy here. Because as you know, chili remedy like Nancha, and lachesis is very, very hot remedy. So Sankris covered fear of being alone. All these we had already studied in the mind of Sankris: fear of being alone, hopelessness, despair, difficulty in focusing, jealousy and suspiciousness, leading to an abusive treatment. I had told you about this rubric, that when they become jealous, they tend to fight, they tend to quarrel. Okay, so quarrelsome due to jealousy, leading to the person to being alone. So they become so suspicious, jealous, they push the other partner, and then they are left alone when the partner goes away. Constrictive pains, menstrual symptoms, which were very characteristic, and also symptoms of headache, which I have not written here, but of course the symptoms of headache were also very characteristic. So that was all about the case. Now what we will do is, if it's too late, I think it's a little late, but I will just continue with this. If you have any other webinars, you can just log off, and whoever wants to go they can leave, and the rest can just listen. I'll just take another 5 or 10 minutes, not more than that. Basically, this is the cyclist of Sencris. So basically what this doctor has written is that when he tries to analyze such kind of cases, or when he tries to study the snake remedies, there is a cycle that he studies, a cycle of symptoms that he studies, and this is the cycle of Sencris. This was especially taken from Paul Herskeu. Paul Herskeu is the author from which he has studied the cyclus of Sencris. So it starts with suspiciousness and jealousy. As we know, they're suspicious and jealous personalities. This suspiciousness leads to arguing, irritability, nastiness. Okay, if person explodes quickly, it is most likely Sencris rather than Lachesis, who tries to control themselves. So this is the difference in Sencris and Lachesis. Sencris will immediately explode, whereas Lachesis will wait for the right time. Intense irritability. The suspiciousness leads to intense irritability from jealousy and suspiciousness. This may lead to drive the loved one away. तो वो इतना झगड़ा करेगा, इतना गुस्सा करेगा, obviously the partner or the loved ones will go away. Then what will happen? Then there is dullness. The loved ones have gone away. She becomes sad, lonely, dull. There is dullness. Arguing and nastiness leads to a weak, dull, confused state with a poor memory. Then after this, there is fear of death, fear at night. Something bad is going to happen. From the dullness and weakness, they feel that something bad is going to happen, feel like they are going to die, feel that something is going to happen to them. Some misfortune is going to happen. Fear of death at night. Then they become alone and forsaken because the partner has left them. They feel alone and abandoned in the world. They have driven their loved one away, and they feel very, very sad, alone and forsaken. So obviously they desire company, don't want to lose company. They are alone and think they are going to die. They want someone there to protect them. They will do anything to hold on to their selected loved ones. So now they are alone. Whoever is left with them, they want that person to protect them, and they will do anything at all for that person, so that that person stays, because they don't want to lose the company. Because again, they will go back into forsakenness and fear that they are going to die. They go after them and are nice to them to win them back. But soon enough, the loved one messes up in some way. So either the loved one will mess up, or they will push the loved one too far by their suspicious and jealous nature, and again the loved one will go away. Then again the same cycle starts. Okay, so this is basically the cycle. It starts from jealousy and suspiciousness, forsaken feeling, sadness, fear of being alone, fear of death, again comes back to jealousy and suspiciousness. So this is the cycle. I have not represented in the form of a cycle, but just understand this is what the cycle of Sencris is. This is the summary and hints. So though Sencris is stuck in a situation and has a lack of logic, then the suspiciousness makes them angry. The mate did the wrong thing. They drove him away, and then they are left all alone. You can think about it, about Sencris in a woman who has fear of being alone and treats her husband badly. Consider Sencris in such a situation. So this was all about it. Thank you so much for listening to me patiently. I hope I was able to deliver some understanding about Sencris. And this is a remedy which is not very frequently prescribed by many doctors, but it is, of course, proven remedy, and you'll find a whole lot of pages in Kent Materia Medica, so you can go through that also. Do not forget about the main aspects of Sencris that we studied. And if you have any query at all, you can ask me right now, or you can ask me in the group, or you can contact me personally also. So this was all about the presentation. I'll stop the sharing now. Anyone has any questions, you can ask.
You can stop recording also.
I'll stop the recording, yes.